LeBron James picked up his $53 million player option. This man has never picked up a player option in his 23-year career until now. Brian Windhorst says the Lakers see him virtually as an expiring contract. Rich Paul says that Bron is focused on winning a title this year and wanting a championship caliber roster this year. Joel, my question to you is, do you think LeBron finishes this season in Los Angeles?
I do, and I think they have a championship caliber roster because
Stop.
they brought in DeAndre Ayton.
We about to have this Ayton argument?
I think DeAndre Ayton is going to have the best season of his career this upcoming year.
DeAndre Ayton is a guy who has been to the NBA Finals in 2021, played a massive role in that Phoenix team, but because of the off-the-court stuff, he was quit on by the Suns, and that core was blown up in part because of DeAndre Ayton. In Portland, a team who didn't need much from him. When he got there, he said he was going to be dominating, making up all these nicknames and shit for himself. They just paid him not to be around their young center in Donovan Clingan. Now he's going to the Los Angeles Lakers around Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Luka thrives with a bouncy, defensive-minded big, and to me, DeAndre Ayton is neither one of those things. I don't understand why Lakers fans are starting to talk themselves into this. If I'm LeBron James, I don't know how I feel about this roster. I believe that whether it's August, September on that Giannis timeline or in February, I think this gets ugly, and I think it gets ugly very, very fast. Rich Paul is doing Rich Paul things, but now the Lakers' response to Rich Paul putting out that quote was basically a shrug. They said, without saying anything, this is about Luka now. And LeBron has not been in that position, which is why they're willing to give Ayton $12 or $16 million, however much it was. So with LeBron not being the vocal point of it and wanting to win a championship right now, he's not stupid. I think he sees that it's better somewhere outside of LA.
I don't think so. And I think that LA right now, they need to build around Luka, but they also need to understand that Luka's timetable is not 4 years from now. It's right now. And he needs a championship contending team right now because Luka is just a season removed from making the NBA Finals and lifting up a Mavericks team that, dare I say, the Lakers team right now has talent that's equal to that team. Yeah, I think they do.
No, they don't.
I think LeBron is a better second option than Kyrie Irving.
Go to the role players. Jake LaRavia. Bronny James may have to come off that bench. That's what we're talking about.
PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr., we're talking about those two players that they started on that team.
Derrick Jones Jr. has been a revelation defensively, and PJ Washington was huge that year. He flipped that season. When they traded for PJ Washington, they turned into a championship contender that year in Dallas.
I agree, but that's what I'm saying. They didn't need much to turn that team into a contender because they had Luka Doncic. Rui Hachimura is more impactful than Derrick Jones Jr.
But he's not more impactful than PJ Washington. He's not more impactful than PJ Washington. Is Austin Reeves more impactful
than PJ Washington?
Who?
Austin Reeves.
That backcourt of Luka, Austin Reeves, and a 41-year-old LeBron James defensively is a nightmare. And it's not Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford back there. It's a DeAndre Ayton who has quit on multiple teams and been quit on from multiple teams back there. Those role players from Dallas don't compare to the role players now in Los Angeles.
DeAndre Ayton had the same amount of dunks made per game as Anthony Davis. He was 18th in dunks made per game.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton is very much a lob threat. He's a good mid-range shooter, a career 46% from mid-range, so he can step outside and space the floor that way as well. And Ayton, he was quit on by the Blazers. He was quit on by the Suns. And I'd argue the Suns quitting on him was a gigantic, enormous, catastrophic mistake. It was the reason why they were so bad. Because they didn't only trade Ayton, they also traded Toumani Camara.
No.
With Camara, with Booker, with KD, with still Chris Paul, you don't trade for Bradley Beal. I actually think the Suns have something brewing. That might be special.
We talked about this literally last week. It had nothing to do with them saying goodbye to DeAndre Ayton. It was giving up both Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges in that Kevin Durant trade. It was trading for Bradley Beal. That was the mistake, not saying goodbye to DeAndre Ayton. And you're making all these...
They got back Nurkic and Grayson Allen.
You're making all these dunk statistics about DeAndre Ayton. It's about effort, dude. And Luka Doncic does not give effort on the defensive end. You have to have guys behind him who do. DeAndre Ayton does not do that.
DeAndre Ayton is objectively a better player than Daniel Gafford. He's a better player than Derek Lively.
He does not fit better with Luka.
We're going to see this upcoming year because I think he does, especially offensively. I think DeAndre Ayton, like I said, is going to have one of the most efficient years of his career, and he is going to be a stamped 16-10 every single night. Where the hell else were the Lakers going to get that type of production? From nowhere. You have Luka, you have Austin Reeves, you have LeBron James, you have DeAndre Ayton, you have Rui Hachimura. They're good.
Who's going to defend? Who is going to defend? Dorian Finney-Smith is in Houston. Rui Hachimura, okay, whatever. But what is coming off that bench? I watched Jake LaRavia not be able to sniff a 10-man lineup on a mediocre Grizzly team.
Jake LaRavia was good. You guys just buried him in the bench.
Jared Vanderbilt has not been healthy for years on end. I just don't know in this age of depth in the NBA where the Lakers are going to have that.
They're not done yet. Don't worry.
Okay, what else can they do? What else?
For Andrew Wiggins.
Okay. And would you give up what the rumored package is, Rui Hachimura, Dalton Connect, and a future first-round pick?
Without thinking twice about it.
So the Lakers, their response to LeBron, this is about Luka basically. They're now willing to give up a first-round pick for Andrew Wiggins and no really depth pieces.
Let me ask you something. When you take into account what any team has to trade for LeBron James, the teams that are in the second apron currently, what team could LeBron get traded to that gives him a better chance to win than with the Lakers?
Your New York Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns.
What was the Knicks trade?
Karl Anthony Towns straight up for LeBron James.
Why the hell would the Lakers do that? You're talking about the DeAndre Ayton fit. Why would Cat fit with them?
He is their center of the future. He is an all-star caliber center who would be under contract for them. You can flank them with pieces.
Contract.
I just watched Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns go to the conference finals. Those two guys can't defend either. If Jalen Brunson can do it with Cat, I think Luka can do it with Cat too. And why can't
Luka do it with LeBron James?
It's overlap, bro. They do the same shit. They both like to be on the ball. They're both at their best on the ball. Defensively with Austin Reeves, it makes zero sense unless they had PJ Washington, unless they had Derek Lively.
It makes zero
and Daniel
sense
Gafford.
For Austin Reeves, but you want to bring in Cat?
I just think, I'm not saying, you said I think LeBron James would have a better shot at winning a title in New York than he would in LA. I'm not talking about the Lakers side of things. You asked me, where would LeBron have a better shot at winning a title? It would be with the New York Knicks.
Okay, under the assumption that the Knicks get to keep all of their great wing defenders, sure. They still wouldn't have a center unless Mitchell Robinson's going to play that position and he's going to be healthy for the duration of the season. But I think Cat for LeBron straight up is blasphemous. That would never happen. I think that the Knicks would have to give up OG and Mikal Bridges to go get LeBron James. 100%.
Who would have a longer meeting about it?
Do you think that Brunson, LeBron, and Cat with no OG and no Mikal could win a championship?
Repeat it.
Brunson, LeBron, and Cat with no Mikal and no OG could win a championship.
Brunson, Mikal, and Cat with no OG. No, I don't.
If the Knicks got an OG and Mikal package for LeBron James, I'd jump and take that if I was the Lakers. And this is speaking as a Knicks fan. I'd jump and take that because now you have two defensive players around Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, but there's no way
going to the ship.
The Knicks, the reason that they would want to do it is to get off all of that Karl Anthony Towns money.
But nobody wants Cat.
Lakers, it would be a call. It would be a call for me. It would be a call.
If the Suns weren't willing to trade KD for Cat straight up, why would the Lakers trade LeBron for Cat?
LeBron's an expiring contract. They could get a center of the future under contract for the next several years. That's why they could do it. I'm not saying I would do it. I wouldn't do it if I'm LA, but I'm saying it's at least a meeting and we're talking about it.
I think that LeBron's best chance to win is with Luka Doncic on the Lakers. That's why when you consider everything that any other team would have to trade to get him, I think it's with the Lakers. And I think people are sleeping on the Lakers. Like, I know that they were disappointing in the playoffs, but this was the third seed in the Western Conference. And they got Luka in the middle of the season, and they still went on a winning streak and went on a run. And they were the third seed. Like they were one of the best teams in the Western Conference that at one point everybody was mocking to make it to the conference finals. I don't think that all just goes away.
Joel, between the
And
third
here's my
seed
hot
and
take.
okay, go ahead and get it off.
There was once upon a time the Lakers got a gift from the heavens. Kobe Bryant was on the verge of requesting a trade. He was frustrated with the situation, and the Grizzlies gifted the Lakers Pau Gasol.
For his brother.
DeAndre Ayton is going to be to the Lakers paired up with Luka Doncic, what Pau Gasol was to Kobe Bryant.
We're in fantasy land today. By the way, the Lakers third seed thing, because I get so infuriated when people talk about the Grizzlies in this way. Lakers being the third seed in the Western Conference. The third seed and the eighth seed last year in that conference was separated by 2 games. So when the Grizzlies made the Desmond Bane trade, everybody nationally was blow it up. They're going to blow it up. They're going to blow it up. That team was 2 games away from the 3 seed. Inversely, the Lakers were 2 games out of the 8th seed. It's that close in the West. It's not like they were fighting with OKC for the number 1 seed. They were not even close to that. In fact, there were double-digit games behind them in the standings. This team was not close then, and now you can make an argument without Dorian Finney-Smith, they might be worse.
You replace Finney-Smith with LaRavia and Ayton. They're better now. Who is DFS? Who do you think DFS is?
DFS is a perfect fit next to LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic. They don't have defenders.
I couldn't realize it. They lost in the first round. What a perfect fit that was.
They needed a center, bro. If they had DeAndre,
and now they have one.
Exactly. If they added him with Dorian Finney-Smith, I'd feel a little bit better. Not Jake LaRavia.
Oh, you are sleeping on Jake LaRavia. Is this what Grizzlies fans do? Just underrate the players that leave?
I am snoring. No, I'm not. We're not underrating the players that leave.
Jake LaRavia is going to be really good with the Lakers.
We'll see. We'll see.